Hello there, everybody. How's it going? I am Pinstar, and this is Tropico 5. In lieu of doing a strategy and tactics style video of it, I've decided to go through a full playthrough of this, but I'm going to be streaming it and recording these streams and posting the recorded versions to YouTube for those of you who can't join me for the live versions of it. And I'll be breaking these up in about hour and a half, 2-hour chunks or so. So it'll be a bit longer than my normal thing, but on the upside, it will be making a lot more progress. Oh, hang on, let me get a little more light going on here. Much better. Yeah, a little better. Alright then, so let's get started. So we are going to be doing a Sandbox game. As you can see, I've been doing some practicing here, but no. We are going to be de Ficklewood, meaning of Ficklewood, to sort of add a little continuity nod to my Banished series, which is in its final stages here. Alright, let's see here. Oh yes, we need to make our El Presidente here. The appearance doesn't really matter to me, mainly because now that your Presidente doesn't walk around the world anymore like they used to in 3 and 4, you don't really get to see them too much. So, yeah. Well, what does matter, however, is their skill. Now, I have one particular skill that I love to start with, and that is, celebrity. Now, it might not seem very powerful, but compared to any of the other money-making or money-saving traits, celebrity is probably the one that's, over the course of the time, going to get you the most amount of money. I've not tested some of the productivity boosting ones to see how that compares, but you know what, celebrity, it's something that we know it's going to be boosting, and we can focus on getting those, increasing the amount of bonus that we get from it, and not just by leveling it up. Yeah, we'll just leave this guy as is. All right, so we're going to be doing a random a random Sandbox game. That's what I was going for. I've only ever played Tropico in Sandbox games. Ever since the original games, I've never really had a taste for the campaigns or scripted missions or pre-built islands. No. I want the RNG to throw an island at me, and I want to deal with it, with whatever might be coming my way. And let's see, starting population 50 is standard. Starting money, and I'm taking a page out of Quill's book here. Most of the scenarios start you with, while the default is 5,000, most of the scenarios start you with 10,000. And 10,000's been kind of a hallmark of the Tropican series. You almost always start with 10K. High economic and political difficulty, and rare disasters. I'm not too fond of the disasters, but you know, there's still something, and I want them to still be around, just not completely making me lose a game just because I got a string of disasters, and that's happened to me before. So let's start this beast and see what kind of island we get. All right, so let's see here.
Greetings, old chap. Have I got a
Now
today?
Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, we are on patch 1.02, which fixed a couple of the stuck Teamster and construction office bugs, but introduced a nasty new one, which was that trading exports or rather, export trade deals don't work properly. They auto finish, and in some cases, don't always give you all the money that you're supposed to get from them. So you basically don't want to be using them, and that's unfortunate because it's a fairly integral part of the game, but it's not impossible. It's just you're not going to be getting a little extra money. So in that vein, I'm going to go with the silver package because we want to keep crown relations nice and high, but we don't need to spring for the extra trading offers because we're not going to use them. And let's see what our mission is.
Come up with a most ingenious.
Oh, okay. We're going to go with the food missions. And, oh, he wants us to build a wharf? Oh, man. This could be really, really nasty if we don't have a fish resource nearby. Usually it's like a food crop or a ranch of some sort. But no, he wants a wharf. Oh, seriously? You're going to do this to me? Well, hang on. Let me... Sometimes wharves don't show, or fish resources don't show up unless you're selecting the wharf tool. Oh man. There's a fish resource here. What the actual heck, game? Really? See, this is what happens when I do things live, is I get... and the next one's up there. So apparently fish don't exist here. For those who are not familiar, in past Tropico games, there'd be like a belt of fish that you could use for your wharf fishing, and too many wharves would deplete that belt, given, yes, but here you have to find an actual fish resource, and without it, you can't build your wharf. So let's re-roll this island here. I don't think we're in any kind of a state because you need to finish those. You need to finish those to get your some of the mandate extensions. So we would just be headed for failure in that one. Okay, so bad first roll. Let's try this again. And I'm not re-rolling islands till I get something like ideal and perfect. I just want something that isn't impossible to do. Okay, so let's see what our mission is.
His Majesty has come up with a
See, here's this is more sensible. It's the same mission chain that we're going to be getting, but this time they want us to build a cattle ranch. We can do that because there's land, and that's all you really need to build a cattle ranch is just land. Oi. Okay, so before we let the game cook any further, let us assess our surroundings. Alright, so we've got a mine in close proximity, a couple of them actually, so that could be something. We do have high ground, but we don't have a super easy way to get to it, but we can eventually get to it, so that's good enough. I'm probably going to explore and do an exploration loop around here, and then maybe send a team down here just to see what this mine is, because this is nice and easy in early access. A little sparse for trees. I'm glad I didn't roll up the lumber camp quest chain here, but we should be good for cattle. Now, this actually plays into one of my favorite builds here for getting us started here in the Colonial era. Now, if you've been following me, you've seen my first Tropico tips and tricks video. You'll see that I have gone. I recommended cows and cotton. Which works very well with our mission because we need to build a cattle ranch. But I have a modification to it. I've been working on something new, and I'll be making a sort of a dedicated tips video for this particular build. But for those of you who are catching me on the stream or deciding to check out this long Let's Play, I'm going to give you a little preview of it. So we're going to, let's see here. No, not a ranch, not yet. We're actually going to be centering it on plantations. Now, what kind of plantations? Well, we gotta cross our fingers. Sugar. Ah, perfect. A nice, healthy patch of sugar. We don't need widespread, ideal, island-wide sugar coverage. We just need something nice and sugary. And this is nice and sugary right here. And we're gonna stick this as far. We'll leave a little space in between these so that we can run a road up there to that mine eventually. So we're going to build 2 sugar plantations. You're going to make me... that... Alright, well, we'll get you started there. That's going to bother me if I just leave it as uneven. So we're going to make our first exploration up there, just so I can put my sugar plantation down. We'll start with that first one, but what we really want is 2 sugar plantations. Another tip here, build straight roads. I mean, they have a nice tool where the roads will curve for you, like that. Avoid doing that when possible. You want corners and straight roads. And the reason is that cars seem to slow down on curves. Even if there's no actual traffic, the cars will still slow down, which can be a little bit annoying. Oh yeah, we gotta hook up our dock. Can't forget our dock. See, even with that, it kind of bothered me. So I'm going to do sort of a crossroad here, and then draw a straight line here, so that way people can get to the dock nice and quick. Okay, so let's start things off here. And I'm going to be building another plantation here as soon as this area gets explored. Although what I can do is throw down that cattle ranch, because that's another integral part of this particular build right here, is throwing down this cattle ranch. And we're lucky that this land is nice and green for cattle, so this ranch is going to be doing well. And this one cattle ranch is going to tie very, very heavily into our strategy in the early game. So let's have them go build that. We'll wait for our exploration party to push back the fog. I usually don't go too crazy with... Oh, we have oil. Interesting. Okay, well, that'll be good for later in the game. Yeah. Usually I get a glut of magnate managers, and I have, like, no oil and no... what kind of ore do we got here? Oh, it's gold. Ah! Okay, I think... normally I ignore mining in the early game, but I think in this case it's worth it to pursue. Alright, that should be enough to get us... We're not going to abandon our... Yep, and of course, you can't forget a library. It's always, your first one from the Resistance is always a library, and it's a good thing, because a newer player might not necessarily know to build the library as soon as possible, but yeah, you want to. It doesn't really matter where you place your library. It's not really distance or location based. So actually where you want to put it is not where other important structures need to be that are location important. So right there is fine. Because despite this sort of starting as a city center, we're not actually going to be utilizing this as a population city center. That's going to cause traffic problems and space issues. This is going to run a little contrary to what I said in my first tips video, where I said that the two that really matter are personal gift and additional mandate extension. And these two are the best ones in the long run, but your very first commendation here, I like to go for the fresh colonist, because that can help kickstart your worker population, so you can get all these extra economic buildings built and staffed. Because what good is building all these buildings if there's nobody working there? Alright, I'm going to have to send out another search party, or exploration party, to push back the fog here, because my build kind of depends on having this side free for the moment. Or in the long run, rather. For the moment, we're fine. So there's our 10 people. They don't come right away, but if you complete the first mission before your first boat comes in, they'll be right there on the first boat and be ready to hop right in there. Alright, not too bad of a first haul. Are those? I think that's a. Hang on. Is that a patch of fish? No. Okay, I was about to say it'd be kind of funny if we got another island. Yeah, see, it's kind of hit or miss whether or not you get a patch of fish within an insane distance of your starting area. And that's unfortunate because, I mean, having an early wharf is actually quite useful. Ah, there's our first influx of money from the crown. That's what our celebrity trait's boosting, is we're getting 10% more of what they would have sent us. Alright, now question number 2 is, do we have any college-educated types on the island for free? Export milk.
Initiated. All colonies must start exporting food to our land.
That's going to be kind of tricky, truth be told. Let me hedge my bets by throwing down a goat ranch here. It might just be a temporary one. But once you get the upgrade, it'll produce more milk. And, well, I can't turn... Actually, I can turn off local consumption for the cattle ranch, because my pig farm over here should be enough. Alright, doesn't look like I have a freebie, so I'm going to invite a foreign worker. Make sure you have at least one college-educated type sitting in here. Oh! I guess he was just kind of lazy there. Well, I have 2. Well, that's right. Alright, since we need to get the milk out as soon as possible, we're going to go for cowboys. Then we're going to go for the shovel, and then we're going to go for a sickle. Usually I don't go for the shovel this early, but with that gold mine sitting up there, I'm going to want to tap into that sooner rather than later. And then once that's all set up, then I can really start expanding this part here. Now you may be saying, Pinstar, sugar is really kind of crappy. It is a cash crop, but it's like the cheapest of the cash crops. It sells for the least. It doesn't really get you that much in the way of benefit, and you're right. It doesn't, but there's a couple other...
Best food in the empire. The king has organized a cook-off. We must show him that Tropican cuisine is the best cuisine.
Really? Oh, I really wanted to send a Dynasty member to get those export prices, because... Yeah... Well, might as well go for a penultimo. You do need some mandate extensions. I have yet to do a run where you have you can go from start to independent in the starting mandate that the game gives you. So you do need those, but it might allow us to take one fewer mandate and one more Swiss bank account later on. And have a grocery. Okay. Now this gets into, we are going to be doing my colonial housing block, and since they want us to build that sooner. Now here's our I don't know what effect each of these different choices have. I'm going to go with singing.
All animals became quiet.
Let's see.
The skies, and La Chupacabra herself went to the crib.
Well, supervisor's most useful, and actually the construction speed is very, very useful in having this. Although they're probably not as useful as a direct manager. But you know what? I'll take that over the others because we're not doing a tourism rating right now. Green Thumb's local bonus is nice, but no, supervisor's the most sensible. Yeah, why don't you be Mr. Astronaut here? Like I said, I don't pay attention to what they look like. It's unfortunate that they see. When they first announced the Dynasty system, I thought it was like, okay, Colonial era, you get one Presidente, and you need to sort of role play it up to get yourself more children before you transition to an era, and then that Presidente either retires or dies and the next one takes over. That would have been cool, but no, you could literally have the whole game from Colonial era to modern game times managed by your founder, which is a little silly. So, supervisor.
Stole my manuscript.
Aha, perfect. So why don't we stick you here in here. We're going to buy that manure fertilizer, and we are going to crank your budget up to max. And we're also going to buy these forage pens for these goats. Now, why am I going super crazy, you know, charge up the cows here? Because, and it's not for me to try and hit my mission here. We're going to hit this pretty well. But the main reason for that is that the manure bonus that other things get is dependent on the overall effectiveness of the cattle ranch itself. And by maximizing the effectiveness of the cattle ranch by any means necessary, be it managers and higher budgets and everything else, you increase the bonus that it gives to everybody else. But there's more synergy to be had. But first, let's get ourselves that gold mine. And then once that gold mine is up, yeah, we'll go for that. Now, in terms of where we're going to place our colonial housing block, we're not going to build out the whole block yet. It's way too early for that. But we are going to place the grocery where the eventual anchor to the housing block is going to be. And I think I want it up here. I know that's really far away from everything else, or at least far from our original city center, and that's okay. Here's the way I like to do my traffic. I like to have it where people live and they go to work at their, or at least for the colonial housing block, they live behind the raw material producer. So they live up here and they're going to commute to this area, which is going to be our sort of our raw material production area. And then our raw material production area goes down this way and dumps their stuff off at the docks. That way the people, the residents commuting to work are not generally competing for the same roads and the same space as all the teamsters hauling all the goods. Now granted, there's going to be some people that work down here that'll be sharing the roads, that's fine, but the bulk of our employees, once we build out this area, is going to be here. So that way we prevent future traffic issues. So let's extend this road out as far as it will let us. I know it's not fully explored. And we will get a road going up here, like so. Okay, good. That's one of the... Some of the boulders randomly can't be removed, and some of them can. The game's a little ambiguous about which ones can and can't. Alright, so we're going to get ourselves a grocery, and again, 2 spaces from the edge, plop it down there, there's our anchor. And just because it is so darn cheap, let's just throw the tavern down behind it. Even though no one's asking for one, we might as well. I'm going to hold off on building the Catholic mission in case I get some sort of being that we already got our first birth one and it wasn't the accidental pregnancy one. We're pretty safe for that, but I'll wait till someone requests it or until I'm ready to build my housing block proper before I drop the Catholic mission.
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this.
Alright, so the second one I always do, and regardless of how I'm doing and how things are shaping up, I always go for the additional mandate extension because these early missions are 12 months. Most other mandate extension missions are 6 months. So it's good to grab at least one of these, maybe 2. That gives you more time more wiggle room time. And how far are you from the sickle? Alright, that's pretty good. We want productivity skills, and then planks, red tape, paper, constitution, the trigger. I usually ignore my military or just do a token one if someone asks for it. And if you butter up the crown well enough, you can get away with that. And now, being that we are, I mentioned before that exports are not working properly, but imports still work fine. So, as a result, all I really use my docks for are imports, or my trading ship. Now, here we have corn. It's a decent price, and it's trading with the crown, and that makes them happier. Why would I import corn? Well, one, to make sure I don't outpace my pig farm's ability. Oh yeah, now that I've satisfied that, I can go back to local consumption, because that's fine to have people having the milk.
while searching through the crates of colonism.
Okay, so I think it is time to start building out our the real heart of this thing. So we built 2 sugar plantations. They're not going to bring in the big bucks, but that's not what we're looking for. So we are going to try for cotton. Are we lucky? Yes, we are lucky. We have good cotton areas. There's a couple contingencies with this build that involve that you can do if you are not lucky for cotton. The alternative to go for that is tobacco. But if I had my choice, which in this case I do, I go for cotton. Not 1, but 2 cotton plantations. And we put them like this. So they're all kind of clustered around this area. And you're going to see some pretty hefty bonuses rack up. Here's the reason why. And here's the whole reason why I went with a heart of sugar here. It's this. Fiber fertilization. Increases the effectiveness of all other nearby plantations and hydroponic farms by 10 based on effectiveness max 30. Now you look at that and it's like, I need to cram 3 sugar fields together just to get the max bonus from this? That's kind of cumbersome. No. It's base 10, but it's based on effectiveness. If these sugar farms are highly effective, like, I don't know, being boosted by this cow farm and the manure, and they buff each other, by doing this, these 2 farms can give all other farms near them max bonus of plus 30. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. And if you crank up their budgets, which I'm going to be doing, it boosts their base even higher, and pretty much guarantees you the max bonus to the others. So I know they're expensive, and they do not they do not give any direct benefit to the farm you're building them on, but man, do they help your other farms. So it is totally worth it. So fiber fertilization, and while we are at it, well, let's see what the bonus is before we start cranking up the, well, we'll have to wait for the others to be built here. Anyway, I was saying before, so we have, by buying the corn from the crown, not only does that make them happier with us, and it doesn't really hurt our budget too badly, but now that we have our grocer, we can stock the corn in there, and it improves food quality, which improves happiness, which can help give you over that 50% hump. Now, when it comes to beating the revolutionary missions here, always go for import revolutionaries. Not only does it give you more revolutionary faction people, which makes it easier to get your happiness higher, you want educated people, because when you transition to the World War era, you're going to really want to have those educated people. Especially when some of these token buildings require educated people, high school or otherwise. Okay, so we are going to wait for our guys to finish building up here. It's alright if we're going a little bit into debt. We'll live. Yep, there's our 3 educated people. How are we doing? Alright, so we have some unemployed people. So we're going to, well, that'll be taken care of by these once these get built. Did I hear a ding? I did hear a ding.
I shall say this only once.
We're doing the double library, huh? Not a big fan of this quest chain, because I normally don't want to build another library. 1 library can get you through just fine, but if you ignore it,
Of brilliance, his royal...
and you want another goat ranch.
I sat with 3 other members of the research team. Suddenly, it dawned on us. We're 4.
All right, you know what? I know how to play this. So we are going to explore up here. Actually, we're going to explore right here. Hopefully that will have them go along the lower thing. Sometimes they can just reach the map edge here and teleport up and don't actually explore the path needed to get up there. But the reason why I'm exploring up there is, llamas which we're going to need for our cloth industry later on, which is going to be combined with the cotton. They love the high ground. So you need to, if you want a good cloth industry, or if you at least want to not depend on imports, you need some form of high ground. So planning to get yourself onto some high ground is always a good thing. The other reason I'm not a huge fan of the double library is because in the World War era, the next thing I want to build for them is going to be an observatory on the high ground rather than a second library. So yeah, it just not terribly efficient, but they're not going to continue on too much more without that. Alright, so these guys are here, mechanization, 20 and 2 fewer people. And with 2 fewer people, you can crank up the budget with it actually costing you a little bit less, but still providing you all the benefits. And cranking up the budget here on these cotton plantations, very, very good. Because unlike sugar, which sells terribly in its raw form, these cotton plantations sell very, very well. Alright. Alright, we got our other one there. Oh, you don't have a road. Let me remedy that. Sorry about that. Alright, and we are still keeping our supervisor here in the cow ranch here because unlike these others, well, hang on, let's take a look at our effectiveness boost here. Okay, so we're getting at plus 22, the max is plus 30 from them, so we need to crank these up. Oh, and we're also short a few people. Now let's see what happens when we just have the one at max. If that... Yep, we're almost at 30. So, yeah, they're all full up. So let's go for broke here. You don't need that, but it honestly gives you a healthy benefit regardless. I always like maxing out the budget for my buildings that produce things that make me money. And that includes this mine here. Water cannons, World Wars. And I'm actually not going to want to build these water cannons here because it's going to be so close to my residential sector here. But yeah, 12,000 right there. We're making healthy money, and it's just going to go up from there. Okay, so our exploration team did actually take a logical path.
Jolly good, old chap. You've given His Majesty's subjects food. So
no free lunch, extra rations. Let's issue both, just so we can get the extra rewards from there. And with us importing corn, we should have no problem feeding everybody in terms of raw. And yeah, we'll make people pay for it because we don't really have an unemployment or a student or an elderly problem right now. Alright. Now the other thing we're going to want to build here is a Teamster's office, a new one. I know we start with one, but you definitely need a Teamster's office, a second one when you start making this build here. Alright, I can squeeze this in here, but I can't squeeze it in there. I'll see if I can draw the road there. I can. Okay, good. Alright, yay, space efficiency. Yeah, because you can see these little crates piling up on each of the markets here. That's them producing their goods, and their goods needing to make it to market. Oh, that's the other thing I like to do here is get a second dock, but I can't afford that. I don't really subscribe to the idea of dock spam like some people do. It creates sort of a logjam with some of the ships, and it's not as beneficial. Now, granted, that might just be bauxite. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. It might just be me saying that from the fact that exports aren't working, and dock spam is kind of dependent on exports in order to actually reap its benefit. Are there any other ways up this? big dang hill that are more convenient. Not really. Huh. Alright, well, I'll probably have to make another little population center up there, but we'll build our and as well, I can't check the viability of that until I get my money up a little bit more. Yeah, see, right now we're massively in debt, but I'm not worried because we have all these goods piling up here. The only reason why we're not... See, like, boom, we just went right back into the black. And there's still goods piled up here waiting to be taken. And once this Teamster's office gets fully staffed here, we'll be rolling in the dough. Okay, so let's not dilly-dally, because I don't want to run out of our mandate time here. Let's get our new... Or heck, you know what? I'm just going to build a goat ranch because I'm not quite ready to go jetting off down there. Let's build a pig ranch. Oh shoot! I wish I hadn't built that goat ranch too early because I am intending on keeping that there, but it's not counted as a new ranch. Oh, bother. I hate being inefficient with my buildings. Alright, you know what? Here. I'm going to go like that. Just because I like spreading them out. You know what? Sorry I keep changing my mind. If you've watched some of my series, you'll know that I do that fairly often if I am toying with one notion or another. So yeah, we're going to build, well, we're going to call it a goat ranch, but it's really going to be a llama ranch is what we actually intend this to be. And yeah, these are going to take a while to complete because they are out in the middle of Nowheresville. And with the hay, we'll hook up this mine here. I'm not going to build the mine just yet, but might as well add it to the transportation network. And yeah, you're going to have to curve the road when going up and down those hills, but as soon as you can revert to a straight road, do it. There. Delightfully efficient-ish, sort of, maybe. Okay, and the crown is giving us more money. That's good. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to do, a dock. And since we are going to be getting some exports from that side of the island, build it right here. And might as well hook the docks up. Because that's okay if they share traffic. And this is a nice little primed state for some production buildings. Alright, well actually these are... Construction crews are making it there faster than I would have anticipated, so hey, why not? Did I actually call them? Yeah, I called this one goats. We can make this one llamas right off the bat. So we just need to build one goat ranch. Just for 2 seconds, call it a goat ranch to satisfy the mission, and then convert it to llamas. Oop. What do we got here?
May the duty of every freeborn Tropican to grow.
All right, new country houses. Well, that's what we're going to be building once we get red tape. We're certainly getting the money for red tape. How are we doing on research? Oh, red tape 3 months. Hey, perfect timing there. It's almost like I planned it that way. Now you guys got to just finish this. Oh, don't tell me you just left it at 89%. That's just bad manners. But yeah, 18K monies is good monies. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on that Catholic mission now. Because you don't need to wait. Your red tape doesn't benefit that. So you can go ahead and start building that.
Red tape.
There's our red tape. Excellent. Alright, so red tape. Here's how I play red tape. I don't build any houses whatsoever until red tape is researched. Then red tape comes along and we get two wonderful edicts. We get the building permit to start padding our Swiss bank account, which I always enact. And then urban development. You need to build a lot of houses to make this worth the money. It'll be worth the money. And actually, while I am here, let's do right to arms. Well, actually, that's $1,000. Let's wait till we're done with our spending spree before we drop 1,000 on that, because that's another house I could be building. And yeah, just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 on each side is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, and well, as many as we can afford anyway. I knew we were going to run out of money, and you can never build this thing in one go. Alright, are you finishing this? There we go, finally. Now, I'm already 2 years and 6 months into it, and I'm already building up my housing block. I don't need another mandate extension, honestly. So, and I don't need the fresh colonists, so I'm going to start taking personal gifts at this point. Yes, I know I'm 10k in debt, and the personal, the treasury one would help with that, but you know what? Money will come my way. Oh, and I still got that new stinking library. Well, you know what? I might be able to just ignore that mission, because she gave me a new one with the new country houses, so I might just ignore the library one, because I really, really don't want to drop $6,000 on another new library that isn't necessarily going to do anything for me. Alright, we're back in the black again. Funny how that happens. Boy, I am tempted to just drop a mine on there, but I don't want to get too many people working in this area because I don't really have a good housing area, because they're not going to live over here. It's just going to be all shacks. $20,000 Colonial era. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Crown. Oh yeah, did I build the always don't forget to build the overfeeding perk for your starting pig farm. I always seem to do that. Oh, and while we're on the subject, oh yeah, we don't need these to be goats anymore. They're never supposed to be for goats. They are supposed to be for llamas. Oh, and I kind of built those two close to each other. Well, they'll have to do for now. Actually, no. No, they don't have to do for now. Because I'm all about sustainable growth here. So we're going to drop that llama farm. I know, a little wasteful on my part. I apologize, but I do want 2 llama farms. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't want them that close to each other, because they're going to deplete the land quickly. So if we put one over here, like so, that and then heck, we'll complete the loop here so they can get there a little faster. And oh, what the hey? You know what? Let's drop that bauxite mine. Bauxite's good. It doesn't really play too much into too many early game resources or benefits, but you know what? It's still good. Now at this point, since we're rolling in the dough so much, I am going to drop another construction office, and I'm going to drop it up here because we're going to do a lot more building up here while we are at it. Can I sneak it in here? That'd be really cool to sneak it in there. No? Okay. I could sneak it in here. No. Well, actually, this is a good logical place to sneak it in. Now, I'm leaving a little strip of land here blank or unfilled because I'm going to put a garage there. So I'm going to put that there and that there.
His Majesty's plans.
And 3,000 more milk. That's fine. Turn off local consumption. What's this?
Presidente, after suffering a thousand...
Okay, we got ourselves that. What's your milk production here? Monthly production 330 per month. You're gonna, yeah, not too bad. Coupled with the monthly production here, of which is going to be some milk from the cows, we should be fine. Because they really, really like their milk. And you know what, heck, I'll turn off local consumption for this place again, because we've got the pig farm and we've got the corn that we're importing. Oh yeah, and this one, what else can we import that's cheap? We can import pineapples, but I'm not wanting to trade with the pirates. I have a theory that causes them to invade if you trade with them too much. And also I don't want to upset the crown, because there's some benefits, and I'll show you in a little bit here when we transition to the World War era of doing that. So yeah, we're going to let's check our other stuff. Import logs. Yeah, you could build a sawmill and then feed it off of nothing but imported logs. But I've got other plans. Oh yeah, since we're rolling in the dough here, and we're still writing on that cheaper housing edict. You want to make sure you get your whole housing block built while that edict is still in place. I'm going to place all the remaining of our houses here. Draw our road network. This is going to annoy me. It's going to be one of those where you have to demolish it. There we go. And then draw it to the corner. Draw it to the corner, draw it to the corner. Good. All right, we had just invented the newspaper, like so, which is the next component to our block here. Actually, I'm going to build it over on this side. And this is another addendum to my video where I described the colonial housing block. We are building it as described, but I came up with a third use for that little 1x1 tile. And that involves knocking out one of these things, and we're going to place a garage there, a parking lot thing. Who's it? And I found that it doesn't, especially if you plan out your road networks properly, it does not cause traffic problems. So if you're holding off on doing that for that reason, oh yeah, I forgot. When building new construction offices, because they are so cheap and because you're building them because your current construction office capacity is probably too low, just quickly build these things. I don't quick build anything else unless it's a dire emergency, but new construction offices, I always quick build. Alright, so that should, alright, we got our new country houses here. So that should fire that event. And we should be well on our way to exporting enough milk. Yay, building permit. And yay, money from the crown. See, being a celebrity has its benefits. And this place is looking pretty healthy in terms of food. Yeah, 2,000 food, so they've got more than enough. Now, it does require, having turned on no free lunch, the wealth required goes from broke to poor, but it also starts making a profit. Not a huge profit. The only reason I turned that on really is because they asked me to.
Letter of commendation.
How are we doing on that? We're doing fine. Personal gift. The other thing is, if you get to 6 months left in your mandate, they will, as a one-time thing, extend it by another year for free, even without completing a mission. $30,000. Oh, hurry up with your researches, dude. Get that Constitution going, man. And more importantly, get this stuff built, because this is really what's keeping the people from being above 50% happiness. Oh yeah, we can turn this stuff on to local consumption.
The leaders of the Tropican...
Woot. Alright, got Constitution going. Yeah, I don't mind if people, especially the milk, I don't mind people getting the milk. And they can have some of the meat too, because they need the food diversity. And we got the corn. The other reason I like to import corn rather than growing my own is because, oh yeah, since we have some spare time and money here, let's explore to get this little thing out, because I'm not done with our little farm node here. There's still more benefit that one can gain from it. Alright, we got 10 months left, and as soon as this newspaper goes up, we should, that usually is enough to kick you over the 50% mark, because Liberty as a baseline is usually pretty low, but a newspaper is where you're going to want to go with that, and that'll just kick it up for everybody in the area, which is usually...
We've been feeding our foes literally tons of food, yet they haven't gained any weight. His Majesty is furious. He demands more food right now.
10,000 food of any kind. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that, and we'll write out the freebie year that they give us.
Great news. We found out how to use them now.
And we got our military fort. 40,000 bucks. This is actually a new record for me in the Colonial era. Normally I've not gotten quite that high, and they're building the newspaper now, which means we should be hitting our even if we don't get the freebie year. Yep. Here's our freebie year. So, yeah, we could actually just fart around in here until we get the final mission completion here for the agriculture. How are we doing on population? 4 open jobs, no unemployed, 4 unassigned managers. Hold the phone there. Environmentalist, no. Foreman, ooh. All right, foreman. We for this one cow farm, we want that foreman in there because again, there's not a lot of multipliers you can do to get the effectiveness high. See, the location's starting to degrade, unfortunately, but it's still worth it to keep this one around here. Yeah, it's this mine that's doing it, darn it. Well, it'll still have decent grasslands over here. And you know what? I could do another... Well, we'll figure it out later. At the main point, it's going to still remain pretty effective, and therefore share its effectiveness buffs with everybody else. Actually, that reminds me, so I wonder if, yeah, you know what? Let's put an environmentalist here in this gold mine, so that it's not popping out so much pollution next to my residential buildings here. And actually, hang on. Let me take a look at the pollution overlays.
Presidente.
All right, we can hit the independence button whenever we want. I'm not going to hit it just yet. Let me just take a look at this pollution overlay. All right, you know what? I'm going to, at least for now, put our other environmentalists here. This cotton mill right here. At least for now, I'm going to put a supervisor here because a little boost to this effectiveness is good, and a boost to this one's effectiveness is also good. So we'll put our other supervisor here. Money grubber, I'm still trying to think of the best place for a money grubber. What you really want is you want the building that has the highest base cost, but it doesn't require higher effectiveness. You know what? The library here is pretty pretty darn good, but I don't want to crank it up too high, just to prevent myself from getting drained too badly. And we can't do that for that mine. What about you guys? Bauxite mine? Money grabber? Maybe. 144? What's that compared to the library? Yeah, you know what? We'll put the money grubber here. And then that'll make sure this bauxite mine is producing pretty heavily. Oh yeah, we also want to crank up our... Wait, goats? Goats? No. We don't need no stinking goats. We want llamas. Llama. Thank you. Okay, and we are solidly in there, so we don't need to worry about it teetering. So I'm going to see if we can't complete this mission. If it gets too low to it, I'll just hit the independence button anyway. Hey, Stormfront, no, I'm not dead yet. We're doing really freaking good here. We got ourselves some sugar. We've got some cotton. We're going to be turning that into rum and cloth in the next era. Got some mines here. Got a nice sweet gold mine right here in my backyard. And we're at 69,000 bucks, which is insanely good when you consider something like, I don't know, a military fort is only 8,000 bucks. Which, you know what, I probably should build one of these. Just so I'm not completely vulnerable. I like building them near my docks. And near my palace. Yeah, let's put you right here. Give my people something to do. I'm not going to try to... what does it say? Alright, we got our building permit, pumping money into our Swiss bank accounts. That's always good. Did we have any managers here that, no, nothing that buffed.
A troublesome band of corsairs has come to steal your treasures.
Frang it. A little too little, a little too late. Okay.
His Majesty's Jubilee is...
No, we're not, we are being attacked by pirates. Is it just one? If it's just one, our palace guards might be able to help us out here. Nope, it's two. Okay, that's not going to be good. All right, so plan B.
Presidente.
We are going to proclaim independence and flip ourselves to the next era, and then very quickly spend all of our money so that the pirates can't raid it. Because they're probably going to beat us, but we're not going to lose entirely. And yes, we're going to transition to a whole new era while the pirates are standing on our island.
His Majesty is most amused.
And yes, we're going to buy our freedom. For 10,000 bucks. Pocket change. Okay, so time to set the Constitution. Or at least the first part of the Constitution here. So, this runs a bit counter to my personal views of things, but I'm going to go ahead and set it this way for tactical reasons. Our first decision here is who gets to vote. Men, wealthy people, or everybody. Now, being that we are going to be relying on our military, and being that we don't really have anything in place that will make our wealthy citizens any happier than any of the rest of the citizens, but also being that there's a lot of factions that don't like it if everyone can vote, I am actually going to start things off with male citizens vote only. You can amend the Constitution every 5 years, so this is not necessarily going to be our permanent setting, but it's going to be the one I'm going to use starting out. Now, next one, religion and state. We've got theocracy, secular state, and atheist state. And once again, the benefit for a theocracy is that religious buildings lower crime in their vicinity. Secular state increases overall liberty, and atheists increases research. Now, The problem is there are a ton of factions in at least in the World War era of the game that really don't like the atheist state. You're going to make yourself a lot more enemies by going atheist state in the second stage of the game. As you get further in the game, the world becomes a lot more tolerant and actually supportive of an atheist state, so you can amend the Constitution then. That being said, we don't have any means of reducing crime at the moment, being that we can start building police stations, but we don't have a police station right now. So I'm actually going to go with a theocracy to start with, and then probably change to a secular state when we next amend our Constitution. Now that leaves the armed forces. That gives us the militia, the conscription, and the professional army. Well, we are being attacked, and we don't want all of our soldiers who start out as conscripts, uneducated, to be dumped out of their jobs. But also, even if we weren't being in the middle, even if we weren't in the middle of being attacked, we would still go with conscription. Not only do a lot of factions like conscription in the early game, but it lets your people stay in their military buildings, and then once you get yourself some education infrastructure going and you can start cranking out high schoolers, then you can switch to another one. I'm still on the fence between militia and professional army. I'm leaning towards militia, but for now, conscription. Boom. Okay. So, you know what? I think I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to leave us on a bit of a cliffhanger. Will I be able to survive the pirate attack here? Will my 50,000 smackaroos go up in flames and stolen by these greedy pirates? You're going to have to tune in next time to find out. Oh yeah, let me upgrade you guys to a personal death squad. Just to see if that... if you guys can actually fight them off a little more effectively. But we'll find out if they can next time. So, if you like this video, and you want to see more like it, you can see the recording of this live on twitch.tv/Pinstar, or you can watch it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pinestarch. I will be placing a recording of these videos on here. And yes, it's Pinestarch. A bullying company nabbed the URL for Pinstar. But that's where you can find my stuff and my other strategy and tactics series, including my quick tips for Tropico, which I will still continue to do. So next week, tune in next time. I haven't set an exact date, but tune in next time. I'll announce it on Twitter, which you can follow me on Twitter at Pinstar, to keep up to date as to when I'm going to be streaming next. Next time will be the World War era. I'm going to do this streaming Let's Play by eras. So here's the Colonial era, and next time it's going to be the World War. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for watching, and have a good one. Pinstar out.